I'm gonna. Do you want me to go over here, or do you want me to dive into the screen?
Yeah, dive into the screen.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What's up, drivers? Today we have a very special guest with us.
Honestly, after you making my baldy head and my beard on that last video, that other video, it was only right that I came down. Good to meet you, Charles.
Likewise.
You all right?
Hi everyone. As you all know, I get sent plenty of clips from all around the world, and recently a bunch of my viewers have been sending me some of their mistakes. So today, Ashley Hull.
Yeah, you have to excuse me, I'm out of breath because I've just ridden here from the station. We won't talk about my train journey. What we're here to do is what? Go on, you tell me what you want from me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I dug this out. You recognise that instantly, don't you?
Driving test form. Reverse round corner. Don't do them anymore. Use of
Nope.
speed. Right. So you only got driver faults. Reverse round a corner. No problems. You got move off safely and 2 for moving under control. Move off safely is usually blind spot checking.
Right.
Was it? Don't know.
Honestly, I can't remember. It's
How many years ago is it since you passed, Charles?
been coming up on 8 years now.
8 years. Wow. Okay. That's usually blind spots. Moving off control is maybe nearly a stall, maybe a little roll, certain things like that.
Yeah.
Like use of speed is going too quick. So
I do have an excuse for that one.
go on.
Do
you remember it?
Well, it's not really an excuse. Yeah, it was because I had to go to Scunthorpe. Didn't know the area at all. I did one lesson there.
Okay.
Before actually doing the test.
Yeah.
And there was just it was a temporary school zone.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't know what time it was, but there was about 12 different signs, all like roadworks, watch out for this, watch out for that, horses, children crossing, beacons flashing. So I did 25, just to be on the safe side, because I didn't know.
a lot of people do that. What do you like at speed limits now? You okay at speed limits now?
Yeah, I mean, I like to put my foot down and get up to them. But cruise control, I find really handy for not accidentally going over.
Yeah, okay, sound. No problems. So, that's about right.
We covered a lot from the dash cams at least. So.
Yeah, that's all right. I could just sit here and hold it anyway, mate. Couldn't I? Sit and hold
I'd
it
have
for
to
an
see
hour.
the mirror, of course.
Oh yeah, no, you don't need. Yes, of course.
Actually, it's only legal to have that one, isn't
You're right, it is, yeah. You're right. If it falls off again, it falls off again. If I have to keep on putting it back in, I have to keep on putting it back in, so what? It doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah.
Let everyone know how I'm here. What happened?
How much can I say?
Go on.
What, can I just
Go for it.
say everything, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so I told Ashley that I was going to be doing the IAM course. And he seemed, you were like, yeah, it's kind of worth doing,
Yes,
why not, sort of thing.
Excellent.
So anyway, you guys have seen the video, you know what happened. They dicked me about. And I told Ashley about it, and he responded in a way that I actually never imagined in a million years, and he actually tried to get me my money back.
I did have a little word with a couple of people, well, one person that I know at the IAM. Have you got your refund processed? On its way?
Well, I did the partial refund because I sent them the threatening letter.
Yeah.
So I did the chargeback for 135.
Okay.
So, which is most of it. I was like, you can keep 40 quid for the trouble.
Okay.
So I've got that money back.
Yeah.
And there'll be a decision on that by the end of June.
Okay.
From the banks. But currently I do have that money back.
All right, sound. But it was, you asked me effectively, didn't you? You said, well, could I come over to Liverpool? And you were more than happy to come over and even pay for my time. But because I had a bike review to do and I knew what I was going to do with it, I've always wanted to go and see what it's like to travel with a bike on a train. I've put 2 and 2 together. So I've travelled over with a nightmare journey. But we're here and we've got a quick hour as well to do.
Yeah, time's tight now, isn't it?
Time's tight. So shall we get driving?
Yeah,
and
we'll crack straight on.
We'll crack straight on. I'll see where I can help. I am going to help as much as I can. I'm going to point
Rip me
out.
to shreds, please.
I won't. No, I'll do it in the nicest possible way. But at the end of the day, you're here. Well, I'm here for you to effectively to see where you're at. You want to do a little bit more advanced stuff.
Yeah.
And you get a free hour. So Have you got a little route planned?
I do, yeah.
Know where you going?
It's going to include some horrible ones.
Wicked.
You might have even gone past one if you're familiar with Nightmare Junction.
Where? I'm sure you're going to show me Nightmare Junction.
Of course I am. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the hardest way of doing it.
Do it. All good. If my camera falls off, everyone, I apologise, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, let's crack on.
Crack on.
So just unhook this. So everything I do is a very budget way of doing it. So,
that's all right. Is with me as well. I could do with definitely a new mount, but
I'll just put this on Do Not Disturb and throw it in the back seat.
Yep.
There we go.
Sound. So, what car is it, mate? It's obviously Mazda.
Yeah, it's a Mazda 3 Fastback.
Nice.
2016.
Nice. Nicely put together, these Mazdas. I like these Mazdas. I think if I was just going to have a normal car, not a performance car, I probably would have gone for a Mazda 3.
Yeah. Honestly, I've got a bit of a thing with Mazda now.
I like them as well. Never actually driven one, so we might have to get together. I know I'm not insured today, but we might have to get together again, and I might have to have a little go at it at some point.
Yeah, I'd love that.
All right.
Just gonna quickly do as a de-steam on all the windows.
Yeah, good shout. That's
sat here for a little bit.
Yeah, and I've just been racing all the traffic on my bike.
So my first car was actually a Mazda. No, sorry, my first Mazda was
most important question:
Mazda 6 TS2.
Rich tomato dip or barbecue from McDonald's, which is your favourite? That's the most important question.
It depends on what you're dipping in.
You're right. You've got the good old Tommy K there as well, like it. Right, I'll stop gabbing. I'll let you drive, mate.
Okay.
I just hope my camera don't fall down again. Oh, it's dodgy. Yes, all right. It's okay.
Yeah. Turn that on just in case I hit my mum's car.
Cool.
So you've just got to be careful coming over the pavement.
It's awkward, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a lot worse before we had the driveway widened as well.
Yep. Do you get a lot of cyclists in Hull? Is that why they've made an effort with the cycling infrastructure?
Quite a lot, to be fair, yeah.
Okay. All good. So, have you always been a car nut then, Charles?
No, I actually swore that I'd never drive.
Okay.
Way back when. And it was only just one too many incidents as a cyclist that
made you then?
I got fed up with it.
Yep. Okay.
So one day I just came back to my parents. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to drive now.
Okay.
After some woman nearly run me off the road.
Okay. All right, sound. How do you see yourself as a driver?
Overly self-critical.
Oh yeah, that's good in a way sometimes, but it can be a problem at others.
It makes me get very in my own head, I think.
Oh, right. Do you question what you do sometimes?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like I always try and be better than I was the day before.
Brilliant.
Like if I have like an outburst or just a bit of shit driving,
yep.
I'll really beat myself up over it.
Try not to, because that can form a little bit of a negative spiral. I'm going to go quite psychological here, mate. Wow, this is a heavy one to start our introduction. I've only known you for about 15 minutes.
I'm glad it is, honestly.
Right. Most people realise that we use different parts of our brain for different things, but most people don't realise the part of brain that we use, our eyes naturally point in that particular direction. So if you're thinking of stuff that you've done wrong yesterday or before, your eyes naturally come down. How does that help you? It doesn't.
Yes,
it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It absolutely doesn't. All right. Imagination is a top part of brain. So if you think about what could happen over the next 10 seconds, you're going to use the top part of your brain. What are your eyes going to do?
You're looking up.
Lift up. So try and let things go. Try not to let them fester. Honestly, remember them, but you're better off trying to work out where that same situation is going to happen again and doing it better rather than worrying about it. Does that ring true with how you are, or have I just gone into something totally random there? You can be honest as you like.
It does a little bit, because obviously with doing what I do as well, similar to you, I upload and critique my driving a lot.
Yeah.
I find it gives me the chance to actually go through as many a list as long as my arm of things I could do better. Or
Yeah. What's the main
you know.
pressure of that? Do you think uploading to YouTube does actually improve your habits? Because ruthless is an understatement for some of the comments sometimes.
Yeah, I look at the comments for like the first hour and then
Right, that's also
don't look at them after that.
that's also a good thing. I am a little more thick-skinned than that now. I keep on reading them. I actually don't care in the slightest, to be honest now. But that is an important part to it. But does that, in a way, improve your habits, do you think?
I like to think so.
Yeah.
It's better than just ignoring it, brushing it under the rug and thinking you're perfect.
I've learned so much over the years from YouTube comments. I really have.
People giving you different perspectives.
Yes, 100%. And that's why I did the training course to become a cycle instructor, although I don't think I'm going to bother doing the final exam. It's just not something I'm going to use. That's why I went off and did the lorry. That's why I've just bought a motorbike for the channel, and I'm going to do some motorcycling stuff. It's really important. It's really important to look at things from different perspectives. You can obviously drive. Are you on your best behaviour though?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I have my moments,
Okay.
but I think everyone does, you know.
Yeah.
But most of the time, this is how I
How you
drive.
drive?
I'll just
Just
get from A to B.
yes, good. Safely as you
speed
can.
limits. I'm not going to say I never speed, because of course I do.
Okay.
You know,
People
I'll
ask
be
that.
straight up about that.
People ask that of me as well, you know, and I honestly don't. I might
Never.
be 1 or 2 above. Did you miss the keep clear?
A little bit, but no, I'm also a bit too close to the truck.
That's okay. I'm gonna just try and help you with that in a sec. Loads of stuff that I've done over the years. It's going more and more towards the psychology of things,
Yeah.
not actually physically how junctions work or operation of the car. It's how you think about things. I'll help you out with that in a sec.
I was going to say I do have an excuse for that.
What?
I know that never opens.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
So I kind of ignore that one in my head, but obviously to you, fresh to the air, you're thinking, oh, you've just stopped on a keep
Okay.
clear.
Okay, well that's
But-
fine. Local knowledge is also fine. One thing you can always think about, if possible, is not the actual vehicles or not the hazards, it's the space. I've got to be in my bonnet about this at the minute. About space, about people tend to target fixate things. So you can assess your space behind, you can assess your space in front, and how those spaces are determines how you go about doing things.
Yeah.
If that's small and that's small, you need to slow earlier. Okay, all good. Sound. So what part of Hull are we in? Is this really the town centre still?
No. So the town centre kind of stops as soon as you come onto places like Springbank, which you'll have come down earlier,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
Town centre's not that big, but the rest of Hull is.
Okay.
It's built up of loads of surrounding areas.
You know what? I've never been to Hull.
Never.
Never been to Hull. I've played at many football grounds all around the country in my time, but I've never been to Hull. And that's usually how I've been to different towns and cities and bits and bobs, but I've never been to Hull. Coming in on the train, I saw the Humber Bridge, and that was a blast from the past. I remember when that thing was built.
Oh wow.
Can't remember the exact years.
Showing your age a bit there, actually.
Was it? I'm sure. Is it? Was it the largest single span suspension bridge or something in the country at one point?
In the world.
In the world.
At one point, yeah. I think it's like fourth now, maybe.
Okay. There you
But
go.
for this actual area of Hull, we're kind of west, a little bit north.
Yep.
But we'll be heading slightly over into East Hull.
Yep.
We'll be coming back through the town centre,
Okay.
doing the horrible junction that
Sound.
I've got a whole section on my channel about.
Yep. It would have been nice, I know it was probably on your mind, it would have been nice just to chuck me into a car blind to it first of all, to be fair, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That would have been good. But
yeah, that was my thoughts initially, but
no, it's
It
worked
shaped
out.
out.
It works
Yeah.
out how it is. It's not a problem, mate. So, do you work at all, or is YouTube your main thing at the minute, mate?
I wish I could say it was, and I'd absolutely love for it to be.
You'll get there,
Um,
mate. To be honest, don't go chasing it. Just put out stuff that you want to put out. You know,
Yeah, that's all I do. To
my
be honest.
best advice would be put out stuff that you would watch yourself, and you won't go
Yeah.
far. You won't go far wrong. Now, I didn't start.
That's how I work with my channel. I view it as like a memoir to look back on.
Yeah,
in a way.
You're right. And
maybe not the ones that really rile me up, because there's a few videos that make me shake with anger watching back.
Well, I've still kept a lot of the stuff, because I think one of my famous sayings that's really come from the last few years is make it a non-event. And even cycling Twitter started appearing in certain bits and bobs now. But have you seen any of my early stuff? Because I wasn't always like that, you know.
I can't think what the earliest of your stuff I've seen is.
Honestly, it's never been sort of as provocative as some dashcam channels or stuff like that. I've never been that type of person, but I'd argue back with people.
Yeah, I was going to say you've really turned that down.
Yeah,
like a
that's
lot.
right. And
You just tend to glare at people these days.
Yeah,
which,
I
find equally as amusing. To be honest.
have got that type of look. I have got that sort of, I suppose it's a Neanderthal type of forehead, I think. So.
I think they might have had the wrong word. No idea.
This is interesting. What's this here? Is that like a bridge coming?
Yeah, there's a river that separates East and West Hull.
Okay, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, have you come up with anything with your driving that you want to ask me questions on? Gearing down. Are you all right gearing down? Have you been taught to gear down?
Yeah, I was taught to gear down, but not to purely slow down with gears. My instructor didn't like that.
Okay.
But in terms of stuff to actually ask you, I'm not sure, because I think my biggest challenges are purely in my own mind.
Okay.
I get a bit quite anxious when I drive sometimes, which people probably don't assume of me, but
were you worried about me coming today a little bit?
Big time.
You don't need to be, mate. It's not going to be like that, Charles. It's not. I'm trying to help you with a couple of bits.
It's not for why you might think, though. They're going all the way around. No.
Here's one thing. Forget the vans, forget the cars. Where's your space coming? Yes.
Now.
You can see your space coming prior to, honestly, most other situations. You'll see it coming better using, I'm thinking about space as opposed to looking at the cars.
Yeah.
When people look at the cars, they then have to think about the space after. You can actually ignore the thought about the car, because the car coming isn't going to be an issue because you already stopped. Try it again with this one. When's your space arriving at this roundabout? Is it after that Cupra?
I think it is, yeah.
You got much space for the lorry?
I suppose I could come onto this bit, give them a bit of space, hang back.
Should you be, though?
No.
No. Sound.
However, that is something that I do, and I do it on that last roundabout as well, because no one ever stays in the lines on that last roundabout.
But I would. And I'm not saying because I'm boss. Nah. But do you notice I picked on that final car, the Cupra?
Yeah.
And I also then straight away asked you about the space for the lorry. But what did you do with your speed after I'd asked you about the space for the lorry? You actually
slowed down.
You actually didn't. You went and then slowed, but you went on the markings. If you'd have gone a little bit slower, could you have still stayed in that marking and just stayed this side of the lorry?
Probably.
Would it have ended up us in a different position?
Yes.
On the roundabout, yes. What about now? Where would we be? Same. We'd be in exactly the same spot because we would have been behind the lorry. So it's actually very little help sometimes just going avoid and go on the markings. Trying to just speed a little more to enable flow. Have a little think of the same thing here.
Okay. With
space. Wherever you're going, ignore the cars. The cars are unimportant. Is there space?
Yes.
So could you actually go a little bit quicker? You could, couldn't you? Yeah, you had to. I like what you did there.
Not to stay alongside.
Good, yeah. Well done, yeah. Stagger formation, really good. I also liked what you did with your speed there. You just had a little hold back, and it just enabled you to check that space out again. Really good.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm trying. Because the 3-lane roundabout, my mouth's really dry. I apologise. I'm trying to quit vaping at the moment.
If you need to stop and have a vape, you're all right, mate. You're okay.
I think I've binned them all.
Have you?
Yeah.
Gone cold turkey.
Been
Good
using,
effort.
well, not cold turkey, but I've been using those pouches.
Yeah. Space, which is the last one. The orange one's coming round, so ignore them. Look at the Renault. The space is after the Renault.
They're going straight on.
Space is after the Renault.
Map's indicating what
Job.
forward we can go.
Excellent. So think of space as opposed to looking at the cars. All right. As you can probably see, it's the thing I've got being my bonnet at the minute. I've even been saying to all my instructors, don't even ask a question about the cyclist. Ask a question, is the cyclist going to come into our space? Because that's really what hazard perception is. It's about not spotting the hazards, it's thinking whether they're going to use the same space as we're trying to use. And you can apply it to all sorts. What's that space like back there? Is it big or small?
Pretty big right now.
Pretty big, so no problems. And to get a better view, hold back a bit more, just gives you can actually get going sooner. It's a misconception. People think that going really close in a queue is going to get everyone through quicker, but it doesn't. It actually, in fact, go a little bit further forward here. Just go a little bit. Come on, bit more. That'll do. You're reactive to the lorry moving from here, whereas you're further back, you can actually maybe see a little bit round them. And
okay, actually, I do have a question for you then. Actually,
go on.
And Hull gets this way as well, but London's probably the worst for it.
Yeah.
When congestion is really, really bad,
yeah,
I see people hug up to each other a lot more.
Yes.
Obviously, that causes its own set of problems.
Yeah.
For a million different reasons.
Yeah.
But is that ever worth doing? Everyone doing it to create space for roads and junctions behind, or is it just straight up stupid?
Personally, I don't think so, because all it does is just bunches everyone, and it doesn't. We can't go any quicker if we're closer to that one. We actually go a little bit later. So if you think about it on those terms, there's no real situations that.
So people will be going through lights slower as well, less traffic through. Sort of
but honestly, the flow. If you're further back from here and everyone was looking ahead and anticipating the space and the flow and the movement, you'd get more through than you would do just all bunched and everyone reacting off each other.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah,
it does. But people,
I've always wondered about that when I see everyone proper bunched up together.
Yeah, people. But the problem is, Charles, we're never going to have these perfect roads.
No, never.
And when I first started the job as a driving instructor, you learn to a different standard and you think, why isn't everyone like I'm driving now? I've been driving crap for 15 years before that, but why isn't everyone driving at my standard now?
Honestly, that's what I was like when I first passed.
Yeah. But then you should quickly realise, so here, think of your space, ignore all the vehicles, think of space and what you're going to use. And how far you can see with the space determines how quickly you actually go as well, doesn't it? So if you can see further,
jumpers,
pretty good. Not good that they've jumped red lights, but good for you were able to deal with them comfortably. Yeah. Little point about that there as well, because you saw your space and were able to. Oh, interesting! Out of hours bus line. Like it. Good effort. Do people not use this like you've just done?
Look behind.
Yeah.
No, I'm like the only one in the city
that does it. Good. Excellent. Really good.
Moved out a bit for her.
Really good. So yeah, the little creep that you also were able to have because you were on your thoughts of your gap and you knew what gap you were taking, also then talks to, that was really good as well. Nice little awareness. It talks to the people from either side at that crossroads because you're slightly on your way. You're not reactive, so they can see that you're going to clear and less chance of them bombing through and not letting you clear.
Yeah.
All good. That was sound. Bus lanes, it's not a whole problem, mate. It's a countrywide problem. People not seeing them.
Helps me get to places quicker.
Yeah, you did make a nice pointed way of going, look, Ashley, I'm going over here into this bus lane.
Was it that obvious?
It was that obvious,
It didn't feel
funny.
I tried to make it subtle.
Subtle? Nah, it was about as subtle as I am, mate.
I think they're going to get ahead of me.
Yeah, good.
There's an emerging turn around this corner.
Fairly good. Stop using all my phrases. I'm joking.
The taxi's a little bit close, put the signal on.
Good. I think that was a good decision. Yeah, very good. Grow that space now. Grow it. You've seen what they're like. They're not as switched on as probably they could or should be. So from here,
There we go.
there it goes again. That's all right. That's fine. So,
Yeah, I would have not gotten that close if the taxi wasn't as close to me, I don't think.
agreed. But then when someone does get close to you, then increase that gap ahead again. Yeah?
Mhm.
That's a bit of a nightmare. Basic schoolboy error. Saying that, I don't know whether
I've got some duct tape in the glove box if you want to tape it to the window.
No, it's all right. It's probably going to fall off again. You know what? We know it's going to happen. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We've just got an interrupted video. But yeah, it's what it is. So yeah, I know the taxi's was a little bit close, but even there, you've got less issues with the taxi driver by being further away and allowing yourself to flow, as opposed to being close. Then it becomes a reaction competition between you and the one in front and them behind as well.
Yeah.
If you just rely on reactions, there's always going to be someone who isn't paying attention. Maybe they're looking at the phone, maybe they're putting a dash cam or a camera back.
Well, that's a term I learned recently, actually, from the black belt barrister, the
Go on.
WhatsApp gap.
WhatsApp gap, yeah.
I love that.
I think that actually came from my best mate, Cycling Mikey.
Oh, really?
I think it did, yeah. Mikey's not my best mate, by the way.
I know.
But
I'm very well aware.
well, I don't mind. I'd love to meet Mikey, to be honest. I really would.
I think it'd be an excellent little podcast collab.
I'd love to just have a chat with him, to be honest.
See who's quicker on your push bikes.
Seems
little race.
quicker. So someone suggested that me and him should do a white collar boxing. Night. like all the big YouTubers, me and Mikey can be the opening show. I'd be up for that, by the way.
That'd be brilliant.
I'd be well happy with that.
There you go, Mikey. You've been called out.
No, we're far too old. Well, I know I am, so I think Mikey's a little bit older than me as well. But anyway, we've all got our own different little ways of doing things. And just because I think differently to Mikey doesn't mean one way's right, one way's wrong. It's that sort of like mixture of everyone's input that's required. But I think people just get a little bit too offended of one thing or the next. They really do.
And I've always hated this driver versus cyclist thing.
It's not like that.
Because how many people started on a bicycle? Probably
Yeah,
most drivers, actually.
most.
You know.
And I've chosen to come on a bike here today as opposed to using a car.
Yeah.
That's it. But people call me anti-cyclist. Anyway, I don't, like I said, water off a duck's back to me, Charles. I don't care in the slightest. So, gearing down. Let's have a little quick talk about your gearing down. It makes
Because you've noticed me trying to do it,
yeah,
I assume.
it makes no issues whatsoever. I wouldn't be letting you do it if I was teaching you to become a driving instructor. What I would say to people is 1 gear per junction. In other words, as you're coming in towards this set of red lights, if you're in third or fourth, just literally stop in third or fourth and then pick the gear that you want to go again.
Right, so like third, second.
You don't need to. It doesn't do much, because what you're actually doing is you're choosing the gear, but you're not engaging it very often. You engage it occasionally, which is effectively, it's just you're taking your hands off the wheel, you're doing something else that you don't actually need to do. So the gaps and spaces between us and the vehicles in front could lead these lights to change. Don't know. It's only a crossing, so I don't think anyone's there, so we're all right. What about the next set? Colour are they on?
Red. They're probably going to stay red until we get there as well.
So just keep your hands on the wheel
Okay.
all the way until we've stopped. Are we going ahead, are we? Yeah?
Yeah.
Sound. So you don't need that, and just press the clutch when you need to press it. Good. Is there a gap and space that we could likely go? Yeah. So choose first and whatever, and off we go onto it. So that's what I would be doing with a driving instructor if I was teaching a driving instructor. And I know IAM and the
Rattles.
that's all right. Don't
Unless
worry.
I press on it.
Don't worry. At least it doesn't fall off like this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would probably be. Did it need that?
No, it didn't.
No.
But I'm not prepared for that.
Okay.
That was the look.
So what you should be doing.
It's clearly, obviously, a force of habit.
It
The
is.
fact I did
And
that, because I
I'm
was
just-
automatic. I didn't even think about that.
Honestly, Charles, I ain't got much else to pull you on because your awareness is good. Your gaps are not bad at all.
Well, you say we've only been going like 20 minutes.
But
you
I
don't
can-
know what you're going to witness
I
yet.
can usually tell straight from the off on what people are like, okay?
Right.
And I'm picking on that because I'm finding that that's maybe one thing it can maybe help you with. Does it matter if you do it? No, nothing. Doesn't matter at all. But doing it in a way that I'm going to try and get you thinking about it will increase your observations coming into junctions a little bit more, which is a safer way of doing it. And that's the thinking behind some of the advanced stuff. So, don't need the gear at the minute. Obviously, lights not long changed. Next set, just changed. Is that a crossing? Looks that way.
Yeah.
How can you tell the difference between a crossing and a junction? Simple way. Any idea?
The yellow box on them.
Zigzags.
Oh, is it? Right, the most obvious one.
That's all right. It's so if you see
Well,
zigzags,
there's more than one answer.
yeah, there is, but you can have those weight boxes on combined crossings as well. All right. So next set of lights, they're on red. So we're obviously going ahead, no problems. Yes for showing caution. So do your slowing, but assess the space of the traffic either side. Clutch down, don't need the gear, just keep your hands on the wheel. Have a look. Is it likely to change the police car stopping?
No, we've got a whole cycle to work through first.
Okay, that's local knowledge, that's good.
Yeah.
But that was, for me, better because coming in, rather than you going gear, 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 you're going slow. Look, let's work it out. Everything is all about observations. Going back to your sheet,
Mm-hmm.
the most common thing people mess up for, junctions, observation. And that's been the number one reason why people have failed the test for as long as I can remember.
Wow. I didn't get a single minor for that. I'm proud of myself.
Okay, good, really good. So if there's not much for me to do with your driving, I may as well try and just get you looking a little bit more coming into
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. As I say, because I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but I was even saying to people before I took the advanced course,
Yeah,
I could probably take it tomorrow and pass it.
Yeah.
If I got lucky enough, you know, 'cause driving tests are mostly luck.
yeah. It's the same thing again. Yes, sound to use that, really good.
Yeah.
Space is awkward here because we've compromised a little bit because we can't see behind what's going on there.
Yeah,
So
so there could be someone crossing here.
really good.
Now these lanes cross over here.
Yeah,
So
this
you need to
was
be careful of people.
this was where I cycled up before, was it? There's the
I'm
station.
assuming it would have been. It's the,
Yes,
it's the most direct route.
yeah. So that is a little bit awkward. Excellent. Superb. Where's your space to go around the cyclist? When is it?
Not yet.
So, there's no problem about asking if you want to ask.
It's in now, but the traffic in that lane's slowing a little bit. Are they going to come out? Yes, they are, but they've seen me.
Well watched. Superb. Very good.
Come back in.
Very good.
Cyclists will overtake me again anyway, so it's pointless.
But the thing is, you weren't to know that these were going to change. So
Yeah.
that's fine. It's no problem. Just see where he is. Deal with him. Think of your space. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's he doing?
I think he's staying behind me.
Looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, very good. Nice job. Good, sensible cycling there from the chap behind. So where's your space to go around the white one? Because we've got to move out a little bit. Oh, this other white one as well. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Nice job.
Didn't make him do anything different.
No, you used it. Good. It's a lost art, that one, Charles. Like it. Good effort.
Right, so we're going left here.
Going left. So look at the space that we're actually dealing with in this road. How wide is it?
Well, I think it's a one-way, yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was.
Little fast. Come round corners. Just a smidge. That's my camera fell off a bit. So, can you find us a little place to park in? Or is there
Probably
no
parking.
spaces? If you can't just yet, don't worry.
Okay. I can definitely park in down the next street. Once we're through Nightmare Junction anyway. This
Is
is
this Nightmare Junction?
the
coming up?
Fear Junction, yeah.
Okay.
So nothing should come from that direction.
I remember this because I had a cyclist go down here, didn't I? I was following someone who was drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was it a viewer?
It
I'm
was,
assuming.
yeah, it was. So this is obviously queuing to go through Nightmare Junction, is it?
Yes.
Apologies about my camera falling off everyone again.
It wasn't until I started doing my homework, preparing for the course, which never happened,
Yeah.
that I actually heard for the first time, or at least it sunk in, tyres on tarmac.
Yeah.
So that's something
don't-
I've been trying to do recently.
I don't use that because it makes people look down.
As opposed to up.
Tyres on tarmac works with normal vehicles, but it doesn't work with buses, vans, lorries. So I used to use that as a novice instructor. Some people still do, but then you've got to change people's way of thinking if they come up to a different vehicle. Simpler way to do it, Charles. See all of the vehicle that you're stopping behind. So if it's a bus or a lorry, you would be
further back.
Further back.
It wouldn't just be tyres on tarmac.
Cool. Now,
it did make me realise I was stopping too close to smaller vehicles, though.
Yes, good. So that's good. But just again, if you think seeing all of the vehicle, it's going to allow you to see up and beyond it a little bit more rather than focusing at the floor. That's all. That's all I'm trying to get you to do. So it hasn't been your speed round corners that's made my camera fall off a couple of times. But I went for that one there because you were a smidging quick. That's all right.
Up with the clutch.
Yeah, I went for it and held it because it was a smidging quick, and then it did come off of my hand. So, where do most accidents and problems happen?
There's two answers for this.
Go on.
One of them is it within half a mile of your house?
Good. There's a lot of things with that as well. People drive those routes most often, so it's more likely to happen.
Yes, it's the complacency.
There is a little, yes, but it's the amount of times that they drive around it as well as the complacency. And yes, I'm tired first thing in the morning or last thing at night. I get that, but the answer, I know there's many answers, but it's at junctions.
Yeah, that was going to be my second one.
So
car parks too. So
what am I really getting at with your junction work? A little quick. It wasn't out of control quick, but when you have to cross your hands and you can't pull push, I know everyone goes, pull push is in the driving test.
Yeah.
But I've noticed you do it a couple of times. You did it outside yours doing the U-turn as well.
Yeah. Don't use anything from my street.
Okay. Sam, I won't. But I noticed it straight from the off. So therefore, when you've been a little bit quick, you've then had to scramble with your hands.
Yeah.
Just get
definite bad habit.
A little, but it's down to your speed of touch. Just make sure your speed's just that little bit slower so you can keep it nice and calm. Because if you're scrambling with your steering, you're also then reducing the time for your observations. And a junction is where other people could be interacting with you, or you could be interacting with other people. So just a little tiny touch slower at your junctions, yeah? Not necessarily approaching, just that final little bit. Final few car lengths, just be half the speed that you were doing. And try it. So what's so bad about this particular junction? Is it because the busyness and I'm seeing we're on a one-way street pretty obviously. This is a right turning lane. Initially, my first thought when I saw all those cars, I thought they were actually parked.
Well, the thing is, there's a bunch of reasons. I did a whole video on it quite a while back.
Yeah.
But the main reason is that lane goes left.
Yeah.
This one goes left, but to the right-hand lane round the corner.
Okay.
I don't think I even need to describe why that causes problems to you, do I?
So it goes left, but to the right-hand lane. So what marking's this? Is this a right turning marking on the floor?
The one directly in front of us is both.
Okay.
So you've got you can go left or right,
from this lane with you.
But if you're going left, you can only take the right-hand lane.
That
people use the left lane,
yeah,
and then just swerve across or put an indication on, hold up the left lane.
Yeah, they could do with a little bit of signage here to make that a little bit clearer. But
I've been saying that for years.
Awareness of your surroundings will make good drivers deal with that comfortably.
Yeah.
But it's like I always say, the good drivers can then fix the mistakes of the poor ones.
Yeah.
Can't they? Would that cause you a problem?
What, this junction?
Yeah.
No,
No, no chance.
Not if I'm coming out of it.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
my biggest gripe with Nightmare Junction is how far people come over the giveaway.
Okay.
I don't know if you experienced that when you cycled down here earlier.
Yes, there was one guy. Yes, he pulled out. It wasn't too far away either, but he was really nice about it. And I made a little comment just as I was finishing my little cycling video to say, look, you know, everyone makes mistakes. Just get on with it. Make it a little bit of a non-event again.
Yeah.
People do it. Do you think it's more common here than it would be at other junctions?
It seems to be, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I made a whole section dedicated to it.
Is
So
that
she's holding back, I'll be nice and hold back as well. Otherwise he'll be sat there all day.
sound?
I don't think I'm going to annoy anyone behind me, so
No, it's fine. It's
not
not a
a big
problem.
care anyway.
It's not a problem. We're all right for time wise anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all good. So why do people then do that? Is it because they've been waiting for a little while longer? Do you think they then push out a little bit further?
I wish I knew the answer, Ashley. I really did, because obviously we're going to come up to it.
Probably is.
And I want, because I've tried saying this in videos before, because I get comments, you need to be that far over to see out of the giveaway.
You do a little. You do a little sometimes. I don't know this. It's pretty...
Well, that's what I was going to say. You tell me when you can perfectly see down Springbank.
Okay, sound.
You'll be surprised how far back it actually is.
Yeah.
So that argument is fair enough for a lot of junctions, but not this one.
That's okay.
Not in my opinion, anyway.
That's okay. People usually then, just because they've been waiting in queues, get a little bit more impatient, and that happens. It's one thing that I see quite distinctively different from London clips compared to clips from the rest of the country, where drivers are going to push the issue a little, touch close, just a smidgen. Yeah, and just ask yourself, has it got me any further? No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
So
I'll be honest, I zoned out a little bit.
that's okay. It's
If it
fine.
happens, I have ADHD.
It does. Honestly, I think we're all on the spectrum. If I'm not on the spectrum, my mind would be blown. I'm absolutely on it somewhere. I've got no idea what part I would fit into, but doesn't mean you can't drive.
It's with autism and stuff like that. And I'm assuming you've played FIFA before, right?
Yes.
Because you love your football.
Yeah.
It's like a stat wheel.
Yeah.
So you got different things like communication, social,
That's right. Yeah.
motor skills.
Tell us in a minute.
Yeah. Focus
Have
on
a look at this. Have a look at this. So no, it's
Right,
closed.
so he's just done exactly what I said. He's
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
So
Right, she's holding back. Yeah. Think of space, not cars. Think of space, not cars. Space, not cars, all the time.
Yeah, so we're fine. We're
So-
straight out, no problems.
That weren't actually as bad as I thought. I just think it's just a busy junction, and I think people will.
I'm getting a little bit close here because Van's tail end was blocking the lane a little bit.
I like that, a conscious decision to go off and do it. And when you see people are able then to fit through, brilliant, really good. So that's not actually as bad as I thought it would be.
It can be.
It can
It
be.
really can
What
be.
makes
It
it
depends on the
worse
day.
then?
If you come here expecting something to happen while you're filming, see another one there.
That's all right. It's got an M5. You can do what he wants.
Yeah, if you come to Nightmare Junction
Yeah.
to film it,
Yeah.
nothing will ever happen.
Yeah.
It's just a soft
You'll
lawn
just
type
catch
thing.
it occasionally.
Yeah.
But people do that anywhere. Oh, everywhere. Oh, there's a junction down there. There goes the camera. That's all right. That's fine.
I'll do a compilation at the end of how many times it fell off.
No, I'm just keeping it, mate, all the way through. It can
Yeah,
stay.
I assumed that you'd be doing long form and I'd be doing the little jerky mashup.
I don't care, to be fair, mate.
That's what I thought. I was going to ask you as well.
Okay.
So I think it'd be a good idea to upload on the same day at the same time.
Yeah, it's fine.
So if you let me know when you plan to upload it, I'll make sure that
I'll keep
ready.
all them in. I don't care in the slightest, to be fair.
See, I like the ability to filter out me saying stupid shit, but I don't have that luxury with your channel, unfortunately. Everyone's going to see
It doesn't
I'm
matter,
a
mate.
bumbling mess.
It doesn't
Just
matter.
gonna smash through.
No,
weird
well,
opinions
well,
of
to
me.
be honest, I think that's a part of what I like doing. I like just reviewing a particular bike or a particular place just on the fly and just seeing it.
Yeah.
What that BMW driver just did, honestly, no issues for me. It's really no issues. There's a junction close to me. It's not far away from Anfield, from the football ground, where there's 2 lanes coming up, and you need the right lane to go ahead at the crossroad, which is slightly off to the right, and it's a one-way street. So people from that use that right lane and still go left, and it's a common one. It's just layouts of certain junctions that you will find that mistakes are more likely. I honestly wouldn't call it a nightmare. I just think it's a little different. That's all.
Yeah.
I know.
It depends. I mean, obviously, I live here and deal with that junction multiple times a week.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, anyway, I mean, there's probably worse ones in East Hull. I'd never really ever need to go to East Hull.
Yeah.
But for me, that's always been a standout junction. For those problems. And what the BMW did, I have no issue with that personally.
Yeah.
But it's when people do similar or exactly the same as he did, and it causes much bigger problems.
Yeah. But why?
Like blocking the lane.
But why will people do that? Why did the BMW driver do that? Well, you tell me. Is there enough space with the bus?
Yes.
So, still, that's something that you can work with your own driving. This space thing. Slow a little bit more than normal. Slow a little bit more than normal. That's a better speed, because you can easily, if it's safe, and it's not quite, because there's a few potentials for problems here, you can easily go quicker out. So just keep that in mind about your junction work and the tighter stuff. Just a little bit slower, just a touch. But all of the junctions that we'll find around the country, they won't be too dissimilar from nightmare junctions, because they're a little strange. People are a little impatient. They'll always try and cut that line. So do me head in now. Sound.
Sure you don't want that duct tape?
Nah, I'm alright. It's fine. It can be the funny part of the vid. It's fine. Okay. If it comes off again, it comes off. So what? Who cares? So yeah, there are different junctions like this all the way around the country, and people always try and just get their little bit further up the queue. They'll take a little bit of a liberty. They'll use the extra space, and at the end of the day, what's wrong with using a little bit more? Yeah, what have you stopped on?
Recommended crossing markings. So not an actual crossing. I believe they're very uncommon.
I've not seen many of them, to be fair.
I think other than Newland Avenue, which is what we're on now, I only know of 2 others in the country. There's probably more, but
just a touch slower coming into things, and think of space that you're going to wish to use, and whether there's any conflict with space that other people could potentially use, because ideally we should have stayed
before in case someone wanted to use it.
Correct.
All
right.
There's also I'm just going to stop. It's the safest option.
Yeah, good.
The thing is, I find, because they're not crossings, so there's no law that you have to stop. Well, yeah, you know. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. I'm trying to concentrate on driving.
You're right. It is a difficult skill to talk and drive. So don't worry.
Do
if you feel as though you don't or you can't talk because something's going on, like that guy, that was super obvious as well.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, with all them kids there as well.
That's right. He just dived in again. You'll still get the impatient people. We're living in fairyland if we think we're going to get it perfect. But that was better. You showed a little bit more caution with that one. You just slowed a little bit more and just had a little look. And don't forget, Charles, you can go quicker out if it's clear. And even if you'd done that 3, 4, 10 times over the past little bit that we've been driving, if you'd just been a little bit slower coming in, I still think would be at the same point and same time in the road. I don't think it would have made much, if any, different. So if we can reduce risk just that little bit, honestly, it doesn't affect our journey time. So what? It's a better way of doing it. isn't it? Yeah.
I got my thoughts together a bit about the crossing thing.
Go
on. It's because people don't stop for them like they would a zebra crossing.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't like to indirectly encourage people to use them.
Yeah.
And risk putting them in danger, if that makes sense.
Good. Yes.
So I often stop over them. Yeah, it's one of them.
I get it. They're a little irrelevant, to be honest.
Yes,
but
absolutely. The thing is, pedestrians think cars have to stop for them when they walk up to them as well.
I know.
So,
I know. So you've got to put that into the equation as well. Here, well done for holding back at the junction, but I would still think of the same with these crossing areas as well. There's one road, it just pops into my mind as we're talking about it. There's a little road, again, not far away from me, that there's plenty. It's a busy road at certain times of day like this, and there's central refuges. Would you go and park over a central refuge? No. So do the same with this. Make sure there's enough space to clear that little pedestrian area. Would you go and slow your car and stop right in front of these people? Is there space beyond them? No. Just hold. Yes, good. If we're going left, brilliant. That's superb. It's not going to get us anywhere sooner, is it?
No.
Lovely. Boss, fella in the M5's gone for his meal deal at Tesco.
That's what the big rush was, eh?
That's right, yeah. Good effort. But yeah, have you noticed the things that I'm talking about? It's not really how you're dealing with a car, although the gearing down was one little bit that you can just have a little think of, but I'd like you to, if you can, observe more coming into things. That little talk
that might lower my anxiety as well, having
yes, it will.
less to do.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm getting it.
Absolutely. And even there, I'm trying to create a little bit more space for you in queues and bits and bobs, so you can see things earlier. You're ahead of the game all the time. Your corners, it's going to be less manic and less scrambled, and that'll lower your anxiety as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
All of these little things are all designed to just make your journey that little bit safer and a little bit calmer.
See, I knew there was things that I could work on to be a better driver, to improve all this kind of thing.
Just come off all the pedals.
Yeah.
Just steer, nothing else. Now what's it like? Now go if it's safe. And doing things in that way is better than tear arse around the corner, having to cross your hands everywhere, scrambling, and then you're still going to be stuck at a light. Onto it?
Yeah. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted you to pick up on all these bad habits and stuff.
Charles, as things go, honestly, I've got people who are training to be driving instructors on their first training session who aren't as accomplished as yourself.
I'm honoured. I'm very honoured.
But that doesn't detract from, don't want to detract from, you know, your compliment that I've just given you there. But honestly, when people come to become driving instructors, it doesn't mean that they're actually any good. Yeah. But you're a pretty good driver, mate, to be fair. It's been nice and calm.
That camera will fully just reveal what that means to me to hear that.
Come on, I haven't been saying, slow down. No, you've been sound, mate. You've picked up on a lot of things. That's really good. Yeah. Look for danger, make sure no one's going to use our space. Really good. I've not felt at one moment, although at any point, that I needed to intervene at any point and tell you, whoa, something like that.
Yeah.
And I do that occasionally with people who I drive with.
Do you find that kind of comes out when you're with like friends and family and stuff? The instructor brain doesn't switch off?
It doesn't switch off observational wise, but you
keep it shut.
I keep it shut.
Upset people.
I'm that risk aware that I'll know whether it's done absolutely brilliantly or whether I can just shut up and just leave it.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that many situations today where I've felt as though I've needed to do anything. Space. What space are we going to use? What space are other people going to use? So I was thinking about that. Good. Excellent. We're obviously turning. Oh no, we're going straight, are we?
Yeah, we're going straight.
well done. Like that, yeah, you had a little check and allowed them to use that little bit of space. Really good. Perfect. So is there any other little bits that you need to ask me, or you'd like to ask me? Is there anything further on than what I've said about and what I've talked about? Do you want to expand on anything, or sort of like get where I'm coming from?
We did have quite an interesting conversation over email a little while back.
Yep.
When you asked me kind of like how having ADHD
Well done.
affects my driving.
Yep.
And I thought about that a lot after you asked me it. And,
Good. Reduce. That's just that little time where I can feel I would like
getting
more
distracted, lost in
space.
conversation.
Yeah, and I would like more space to deal with it. Yeah, I hope I haven't been too bad with your ADHD today, because I know I can trigger
It's
certain things.
part of today's challenge.
Is it? To deal with me? Nice.
No, I didn't
Space
mean it like
is-
that.
No,
It's
I didn't
the
take it like that, mate. It's fine.
because obviously I knew that I'm just going to hold back and let
Very
you
good,
finish.
yeah. Space people want to use. Very good. So yeah, how
Because I knew that we'd be talking constantly, and
Yeah.
you know, in an average day to day, you don't really say much to your partner or your friends when you're just driving about. A few conversations here and there, but
true.
not constant. I can't think of the right word. But,
You're
know.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So it can be quite intense. That's very good. It can be quite intense when I do these sessions with people. But how have you? Here's a little analogy. It might lead you to go off and think about your space. When's your space arriving? Where's the Saab going? There's the little Renault Zoe.
It's going round.
Spaces.
Should have enough space after
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Good. So keep that in mind with your junctions. Space. Just holding this just in case it falls off. So here's a little analogy. People ask me, I don't make it widely known on my channel, but I've got a famous dad as well. Did you know I've got a famous dad?
I do.
Okay. People ask me, what's it like having a famous dad? And my answer is, I've got no freaking clue. I don't know anything else. So if you've got ADHD, I'm sure it's the same sort of question that I've said, how does it affect your driving? But you've known no different. So therefore,
Well, that's the thing. I didn't know for the first 6.5 years of driving. Anyway, I passed my test with unmedicated ADHD.
so it's only so I know it's not only a title, but effectively it was only a title, and your driving hasn't changed. It's done nothing different.
If anything, I think it's gotten better, because now I know that I do get distracted and that I do need to find ways to bring myself back in the room, if that makes sense.
With you, yeah, and you're not on your own. And there are so many disabilities that people think, oh, it's going to be a restriction for driving. But honestly, you are the proof of the pudding that ADHD is not a barrier to your learning and to your driving.
Not.
It's not, is
Because
it?
they do say you have to tell the DVLA if it affects your driving. And I read that, I was like,
How do you know?
well, it doesn't. Because when I was diagnosed, it's written on the letter.
Okay.
You have to
You have
tell
to-
the DVLA,
Yeah.
but only if it affects your driving.
But how do you know whether it affects your driving or not? You've got to be super conscious.
Yeah,
Does it-
see, that's
does
what I
it-
mean. Like, I feel
Does
like
it
I'm
affect your
self-conscious.
driving? Yes, but only because you are super conscious and conscientious as well about your driving.
Yeah, see, that's the way the word is. Affect your ability to drive safely is the full term, I think. So, I mean, I think I drive safe enough, but
Well, I think since you definitely drive safe enough, absolutely. But I think we're all, especially since I don't know whether there's anything actually in it, but a big believer that since COVID, I think a lot of people have COVID brains, and they have little blanks, and they have little quiet moments in the brain where the brain doesn't work very well. I have them too. Yeah, we're all there.
yeah.
Is that then something that probably affects driving more than probably ADHD at certain levels? Well,
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you. I think it probably would do in certain situations, but it's nothing that I've seen that's been a problem. But again, I don't know you before today.
Yeah, because for all you know, I could be on my very best behaviour. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I kind of am, but at the same time,
Yeah.
as I say, the worst I do is just put my foot down to the speed limit.
That's right.
So, you know, it's one of them.
Well done. Space that you were going to use there was a little bit just with your positioning where I think you were
Could have
just
been a bit wider.
you were target fixated at the one in front a little, and that maybe could have been a little bit of a mislead. So again, think coming in the space that you're wishing to use and how other people can read into that as well. All right.
Yeah.
You got onto that after I said space. So the Mazda going to move? Is the blue one going? Is there a space after the blue one? Not necessarily.
No.
Might be. Good. Well done. That was a little reactive. That's the bit that
reactive and hesitant.
That's the bit that I'd like you to work on. Space. Think of when your space is arriving. You tend to be a little reactive off the cars. I know we're dealing with cars, but we're sort of not.
Yeah.
It's the space. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I've always said this, like, because I do a video at the end of every year that's all my mistakes from the year in one video.
Yeah, so.
And one of the biggest things that I always say is when I found myself getting into bother is because of reactive driving. So I know that's a weak point.
It's not weak. It's just an area that I've probably seen that you can do a little better with, and that can be your area of focus. So think of all the space and all this situation. It's easier when we're doing 20 rather than a faster speed limit, but that's all good. Are we soon going to be making tracks back? Because I'm thinking of my time wise as well. I'm going to catch my train. So anything else that you need to wrap up with, mate? Is there anything else that you'd like to say to your viewers? I've got nothing to say to mine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, all of my audience will be freaking out about this video. 2% of yours will be like, oh no way, I didn't know this was happening, and 98% will be like, who's this chavvy looking knob?
not at all. No, it doesn't work like that. I think one thing that you can think as well, who's going to use MySpace, with them being there, with them pressing the button, that was always likely to happen.
Yeah, could have been slowing before.
Maybe just reducing a little, but it's not a million miles off. But yeah, my
if I was a bit closer to the lights on a different day, I'd have probably just gone through on the amber there.
But be a step ahead now if you can. Yeah, be a step ahead. But my subscribers and viewers, they're a good bunch, to be fair. They're all right. They'll be interested. I know a lot of them watch your stuff as well, mate. So
yeah, we've got a fairly big crossover.
There's a big crossover, so I'm sure they'll all be tuning into this. But it's been nice to come and have a drive with you. The weather's stayed. Fell off about 44 times, but you know what? That's the best bit about it, because it's real. Yeah, keep it real. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I'm using this mount again. I'm going to throw that away as soon as I'm home.
Oh dear.
I'm going to hold it. I am going to hold it. Damn thing. But yeah, I'd like to say, well, I'm sticking the camera back up again. I'd like to say a massive thanks to everyone who's tuned in.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
You've probably no idea who I am or why you should care.
Yeah, well, I'll leave a link to Charles's channel down at the bottom. There's some funny stuff. Please, I'm going to leave a link to the video where you take the mick out of me with my baldy head, mate, because that was superb. But thanks for the invite. We're going to wrap this up. My arm's going to be aching if I hold my camera. You can't see your left mirror as well, so we're going to wrap it up. Keep safe, everyone. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.